every generation has to reestablish the basis in this fight for democracy. I mean, for real. I've never seen, including since the Civil War, such an outward assault on voting rights.
That was just hours ago on the tarmac in Geneva, Switzerland. After a long day's journey in tonight, Marine One has landed. The president back inside the White House now. This is tape from a few minutes back. He returns, of course, to a stalled domestic agenda. Tonight, however, there is at least some movement on voting rights legislation. Senator Joe Manchin, Democrat of West Virginia, released a compromise that includes changes for both voting bills stalled in Congress. Among them, folks at NBC News report, quote, Manchin supports making Election Day a public holiday, offering 15 consecutive days of early voting for federal elections and automatic voter registration through State Department of Motor Vehicles. He also proposes requiring voter identification but allowing alternatives like utility bills to suffice as proof of identity. A lot to talk about. Back with us tonight, Eugene Robinson, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for The Washington Post, and Mike Murphy, veteran Republican strategist, co-director of the Center for the Political Future at USC, also happens to be co-host of the Hacks on Tap podcast. Gentlemen, good evening and welcome to you both. Eugene, I just once a week at least like to check in on your Manchin annoyance meter. It's much more fun when it runs in the red, because Manchin also let it be known he met tonight with the Texas Democrats, and he's put out this compromise on voting rights. And, oh, look, Manchin's the center of attention again, Eugene.
Yeah, he is the star of the Joe Manchin show, and so he's gonna, he's trying to get it renewed for another season, I guess. So look, about his compromise proposal on voting rights, show me the 10 Republican votes. Can he get 10 Republicans to sign on with him to this legislation or legislation that encompasses these provisions, and if he does, then that's something to talk about. I mean, there certainly are not 10 Republican votes for any stronger and more comprehensive or meaningful voting rights legislation. There just are not, and if he's not willing to talk about the filibuster in any way, shape, or form, then show me the votes. I don't see them right now. I don't think they exist, but maybe he can find them. So, good luck.
Mike Murphy, same question, especially when you consider that Manchin is the most popular Republican in the Democratic caucus. Can he bring over 10 souls?
Well, let's be fair, old Manchin. He's the best Democrat you're going to get out of West Virginia. He's a throwback to the old wider Democratic coalition, and there's a lesson there for Democrats, because if they want to build the party on narrow ideology, they're gonna open the gates for Republican growth and success, even with the chucklehead factor we now have. Look, I don't think there are 10 votes, but this bill was dead yesterday. Should have been dead in my view. I'm for reform, but this bill is much too big. Manchin brought it back to life. There's a faint heartbeat now, but Gene is right. 10 votes is a long road from here. And I think the important signal in Manchin, besides at least moving it back into faint heartbeat territory, which is a lot better than dead, is he's trying to find a compromise on the voter ID issue, which is a big flashpoint in all this. And that would give some Republicans cover to come over. But I predict more progressive backlash at Manchin. They've kind of had it with him because they see this as a team loyalty sport. And it's going to be a rocky road. As my old boss McCain used to say, he's not exactly running for miscongeniality in the Democratic caucus there, but it's a pragmatic approach to at least put the thing back alive, even if faintly alive.
Well,
yeah, and to your point, Mike, we don't emphasize it enough. Trump did carry his state by 40 points. Gene, I can give you about 30 seconds before a break. Go ahead.
No, I'll just say every Democrat realizes that you got Joe Manchin, you got Joe Manchin, right? I mean, if he were not there, then a Republican would be in that seat, and Mitch McConnell would be running the Senate. So Joe Manchin is a fact of life, and if you want to make him less a fact of life, then win a bigger majority in 22, and then he's not the deciding vote on everything. So, but in the meantime, as I said, show me the 10 votes, and I actually think he'll get a lot of Democratic support for it, because believe it or not, there is some realism in the Democratic Party.